And welcome to a video with Craft with Mrs. D. We're going to be making a Father's Day card today from scratch. So I'm going to show you how I put it together on Cricut using some boxes to start with. So I'm showing you here exactly what I've made to the right hand side here. So I've done a box and I'm doing that as a 14 by 14 square. And I'm going to colour that in yellow so I can see exactly what it looks like. Next thing I'm going to do is add the tie to it. So I've gone to images and I'm going to have a look at my previous search there where I typed in tie and choose whichever one fits the image best. So I'm just getting this shadow silhouette one and sizing that down to size, and I want it sitting from the top of that box. The next thing I want to do is a pocket, so I'm going to my images and I'm looking for a pocket. So the best one that I could find here is this particular one here. It's a little bit more complex than what I would want for this because I just want the outline and the shape. So if I double click on that and open up the box on the side where you can see the layers, and all I want is that shape there. So what I'm going to do is delete part of the image and then size that down so I have just got the outline of the jean pocket without the detail. So what I want the top part of the pocket, so I'm going to create one. I want that as two separate elements to cut out just to make it look a bit more interesting on the card. So I've gone into shapes and got a rectangle there to sit nicely on top. And then as you can see, then there's a little note coming out of the pocket which says Happy Father's Day. This can be personalised to absolutely anything, whether it's a birthday, or another event that you wanted to make this card for. So I'm just going to put it in white, and what I want to do is make sure it's going to sit in that pocket nicely once it's all cut out. So I'm just going to make sure that it's going to size, sending it to the back so I can make sure and adapt that so it fits properly. And then for the text, so on this one I'm going to write, like I have before, Happy Father's Day, and then sizing that down to make sure it fits on the white box. Now I have done the white box at an angle which was -375, so what I'm going to want to do is exactly the same. You can go for any text, you just need to make sure that writing is selected from the filter. And it will show you all the font that is applicable for writing, and you can choose whichever. So I've got two different examples of fonts there just to show you what that looks like. I want to attach the writing to the white box because it needs to pre-print it out together on that same card so it's all in the same place. And I want to make sure that everything is the right colour that I want it to cut out on the mat. So it's all in black, and I'm now going to set that to cut. So I'm cutting on my mat today. I've got three colours. I've got the white, the black, which I'm actually going to cut out in blue, and the yellow. And I want 4 of them. So I'm going to select 4 copies at the top. And my white paper is in A4, so I'm just going to change the size down and connect to my Cricut machine. So once it's connected, what I'm going to do is select the correct material that it's linked to. So I'm going to select medium and make sure that I've got the right pen and tools in my Cricut machine to cut. So these are the papers that I'm using. That's my yellow, which is quite a thin yellow, a blue card, which is a bit thicker, and a bit of white card, which I can use some scraps for because I'm just cutting a little bit of it. I'm cleaning my mat. Mat isn't as sticky as it once was, but it will do for today. So the machine is telling me to do the white first, so I'm putting the white on the mat, and I'm going to use my brayer to bray it all down. So now sending it through the machine, and I'm going to make sure the pen is in there. So this is a Cricut 0.4 fine tip pen, which we're putting in, and it's cut everything out fantastically. Here's the result. I've got 4 cards. It says Happy Father's Day. So I'm going to take those off, making sure that I bend the mat as opposed to the card, and put the next one in. So the next one is blue, or the navy, and putting that through the machine next so it can cut the jean pocket and the ties out. So that one's going through the machine, and these are the results. So I'm going to put the yellow in next, as the machine tells me to. So the yellow is the background. It's not going to take long for this to cut at all. It's just cutting 4 squares out for that background. So while that's cutting, what I'm going to do is use a white acrylic pen, and I'm going to just mark out where the stitching would be on a jean pocket. So I'm doing that just by eye and giving it a not so perfect look for a homemade card. That's all 4 done. I'm going to put them to one side because it is an acrylic pen. Just need to make sure it dries properly. And I'm just going to take the yellow squares off and put them in a pile. So that's all the cutting done now, and that's everything done on the Cricut machine. Everything now is just going to be popping it all together. So we do want a bit of detail on the ties. The ties will be a bit boring otherwise, and it's going to be quite a lot of solid blue colour. So what I've decided to do is use my Sizzix. This is Big Shot. And I'm going to use an embossing folder. I sandwich that through the machine by just layering everything up as it recommends. So different embossing files have different recommendations. And then I'm going to put that through there, and that will give it a nice spotty embossing look to it, just like this. That's all my elements ready now. What I am going to do is just do a bit of a dry fit just to see where everything goes and in which order to stick things down, and see what that looks like. Everything's where it's supposed to be, and the top there of the pocket. Right, time to stick everything down then. So I'm using Barely glue, not much left in the pot there, but it is quite good glue because you've got a little bit of time to just manipulate and put things into place. And once it does start sticking, it sticks really well without curling the paper or leaving any wet marks or anything like that on it. So it does make good glue for good cards.
Remember the days we were young, wild and free, basic getting sprung. We used to dance the night away, hang out the whole next day, laughing, having fun.
That's everything stuck down now, but it does feel like there's something missing. So on a jean pocket, there's quite often some little gems on either side, or little buttons. So what I'm going to do is just replicate that. So I'm trying to decide what type of gem here to use, whether it's a sparkly one or a blue one. Decided to go with the blue one, so in line with the stitching, I'm just going to put a gem on each side there. Okay, so time for the card. So this is pre-cut card from Hobbycraft, which is a 15 by 15 square card. And I use that as a base for most of my cards, so then I put the design on top of it. Looking at it here, it does look like there's something missing. So what I have decided to do is I think it needs a bit of a blue border to it. It doesn't quite look right with a white border. So I've got some distress inks and oxides here. I'm not quite sure what the best colour blue is going to go with it. So I think I've got some broken china there. Is it ocean breeze possibly, and some peacock feathers, which I'm going to have a look and just see which one looks best with the blue that I've got in the card, and see which one complements the best. So let's put it on a piece of paper and just test out and see what they look like. So I've decided that the broken china is the one that matches the best. So what I have done is just made sure here that I'm rubbing the edges. I don't need to do the whole card because the yellow is obviously going to sit on top, so I don't need to use all that ink. So what I'm using is a blending pad and just rubbing that in onto the sides there. It doesn't need to be perfect, a bit of texture gives it a bit of interest too.
Getting sprung. We used to dance the night away, hang out the whole next day, laughing, having fun.
So that's all the edging done. What I am going to do now is glue that base on. So it looks like it has got a blue border to it, a blue card. So again, just using the Barely glue. It's just going around that and sticking it down and doing the same on all four of them. And this is the finished result. So I've got 4 cards out of this project, out of 2 sheets of paper and some scrap white, using the oxide blue and the Big Shot for the embossing, a bit of acrylic and the gems. So actually not much material at all for 4 of them. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video today. The cards are available to buy on Etsy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.